Ladies and gents, hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Aram, welcome to the Competitive Rowing channel. Now, this video is about the new world best time that was set last year in the Coxed Under 23 4. So it's a 4 with a coxswain. You may ask, hey, why is there even a coxswain and a coxed 4? Well, there are some places, traditionally speaking, where you couldn't row without a coxswain, and today there still are. So this is why these boat classes evolved, traditionally speaking. And if you've ever rowed a coxless 4 and a coxed 4, there's a difference in the way you have to move the boat. It's not just the weight, but it's also a different team. There's one more person involved that has the oversight, so there's much less pressure on the stroke, whoever is team captain or boat captain in that boat. This is the British 4 that made a new world best time. Their coach Brian Young gave them two very important pieces of advice concerning rowing technique. And that was about the smartest thing I've heard of a coach in a long time. The first advice was try to accelerate the boat just before the catch, but don't do it in an aggressive way. This is how I interpret it, but try to pull the boat underneath yourself. And with the aim to pull the boat underneath yourself, you have to have a tension here, and you can't lean too much on your oar handles at the catch and have tension around the shoulder girdle. It's a brilliant way to put things. I've been a coach now for 26 years, and I'm learning and learning and learning, not just to explain, do this, hold your body like this. The more you are a coach, the more you learn to say things, the same thing in multiple ways, because every person seems to understand things in a different way. So you have to speak different languages, although it's the same language. The idea is to say things that bring along a whole lot of other solutions to problems you don't even have to explain and describe. So as a coach, I'm trying to understand, okay, this is the full scope of issues. Which wheel, which sprocket, which lever do we have to pull in order to solve as many of these without talking too much? And I think what Brian Young did as a coach, and I don't know you personally, Brian, but you did extremely well saying these two things. You were able to address these issues. Let me explain what I mean. So on our way forward to the catch, if you are here right now, a lot of people do the following things. Say, oh, I want a long stroke, much reach at the catch. What will happen, especially in sweep rowing? Let's say I row port. So my shoulder girdle should be parallel to my inboard, which is always like this. I have to tilt my shoulder like this. If I'm not flexible enough here, I just have to lift the left shoulder. A lot of people do it like this. No, just the shoulder girdle. And secondly, the shoulder girdle should move along with the inboard. A lot of people who try to be long at the catch do this. The inside shoulder is higher than the outside shoulder because they try to reach forward. If you try to attract the boat, you can't row like this because essentially you're trying to pull something with your feet. And that forces you to have a lot of body weight on the foot stretchers and the seat. And that brings with itself that you cannot have a lot of body weight on your oar handles. That is essential in a race situation. The lighter your hands are in that situation where these guys are right now, the more you can control the boat. And the shorter and quicker the catch is going to be. A quick catch has nothing to do with power, but only with light hands and quickness, not power. It's like mixing up torque and horsepower for you car guys like me. And the effect of this here is that their upper body motion at the catch, even during the last 500 meters on their way to the gold medal and new world best time, is almost down to nothing except for 3-seat. 3-seat, however, is the tallest in the boat. And all four, Robbie, you wrote me that in your email. You guys come from different universities and university programs. You have been rowing for 8 years plus, all of you. So you have been taught different technique, let's put it that way. In my humble opinion, and this is what I learned on the bi-rower, by the way, you see this? This is a bi-rower 6. This will go to France now soon. And we were able to connect it. I'll make a different video about this on a bi-row channel. The idea is that you look differently when you move, but you influence the boat the same way. But that has limits. And if somebody uses the upper body as dominantly as you do here at the catch, it will create a different force curve. However, as Ben here in 3-seat is the tallest, it's okay. And to me personally, it looks like he's trying his very best to offset this for as long as possible. And this is visible with that prolonged leg drive he has at the catch here. So I think 3-seat is doing his very best to adapt in such a short amount of time. Now, as we come to the drive, Brian Young gave them a second thing to be careful, to be aware of. Use your upper body weight, but use it a bit later than you would in an 8, because the boat speed is less. Makes sense. In my opinion, you should always use your upper body weight at the optimal point of time when the blade is in a 90-degree angle to the boat, disregarding the boat's speed. Even in an 8, you can have a very loose and quick catch, as we saw with the Kiwi 8 last year or 2 years ago that won Olympic gold in Tokyo. In that case, this one idea during the drive to use the upper body swing late unified the upper body swing. So we had unification on 2 main elements. We had the drive phase, use upper body, but use it later, meant a whole lot of things. You can't be too brutal at the catch, which means you can't have a hard and aggressive catch because you need to use your upper body weight later. It's genius. That's pretty much what it means. This is what I mean by, as a coach, you need to say things that bring by precisely the things the athlete needs to change without even telling the athlete about it. And boom, voila, that athlete is doing well. So by telling someone, this doesn't work in all boats, but with experienced rowers like these, it works very well. By telling them, focus on your upper body late, okay? You essentially said, well, what I want you to do is light-handed at the catch, because you just had to pull the boat underneath yourself just before the catch, which is so smart. And that also means, hey, don't brutalize it at the catch. Take it easy. Another thing you think about, no, forget about the catch. Make sure you use your upper body weight mid-drive, okay? A bit later than you would in an 8. A bit later? When is he using it? I'm using it at the same time. Perfect. That brings by the next solution. Use your upper body weight together. Ladies and gents, that's the entire miracle of rowing. Don't kill it at the catch. We don't want the hard and deep catch. No. The catch is soft and quick. And deliberately slow. In. Like, scoop with ice cream. See how it slowly does this nice, I don't know what to call this in English, but vanilla ice cream. It's soft and deliberate, but quick. And then over middle drive, you try to play with the weight and say, make yourself heavy. That's how you create this. I just tried this out. That we had rowing camp now in Vienna. We got done 2 days ago. Big group, more than 20 athletes from literally around the world. I've been getting emails, hey, when is the next camp? When is the next camp? And I want to join again. Excellent. I'm about to negotiate the next rowing camp. So if you want to learn more, go to rmtraining.com, register for the newsletter. I never send out spam, I don't do this, but I send out basic information. When is the next camp? When is the next event? Is there anything that I'm doing, let's say a live event, and so on. Good. Now, back to this 4. That unifying idea of using the upper body weight later meant nothing but use it together. So we had 2 things. Light hands at the catch, you want to accelerate the boat, namely here. You want to accelerate the boat here. How smart. You cannot accelerate a boat by sliding forward quicker. Doesn't make sense. It means simply draw the boat. If you draw the boat, you can't have upper body weight in your handles, which means your handles will probably not go high, your blades will not go high because you don't dive deep into the boat because you're too busy with pulling the boat. If you pull the boat, it means you got to have a connection between your hip and your feet. If you do this, you got to be light-handed and you got to have sufficient tension here in the transverse abdominal, which is the muscle that we need the most, next to the lat dorsal and all that stuff. So these 2 things, when not having much time to work with the crew, because you guys got selected 2 weeks before the Worlds, that's genius. Absolutely. And this solves a lot of other issues. And I think This is why a crew where nobody was under 6 minutes on a linear erg managed to make a new world best time. Because these are the key competences. Accelerate the boat on recovery. Don't move yourself, move the boat. And use upper body weight together. These are the core principles of rowing. Nobody ever said you need a deep and hard catch. That is the most ineffective thing you can look for. I know there are people who have a deep and hard catch and are successful because of a lack of other people who are either physically on par or are ineffective as well. That's my humble opinion. And the way this GB4 executed this strategy is phenomenal. Look at this. They have open water over everybody else. With this being said, thank you very much for watching. What an interesting video. If you want to learn more about this thing behind me, it is a Birower 6 going to France. It's connected. You can row sweep, you can do scull, and the color is a beautiful red.